Hello YouTube, this is my deck profile for zombies for the April 1st format. Zombies are a pretty good rogue deck, although they're not tier 1, obviously. They can combat with the meta pretty well, so let's get started. First off, we have our triple Mizuki. Let's get out of the lighting here. You guys know what Mizuki does, no explaining that one. And we got Uni Zombie, a much better replacement for Plague Spreader, so you don't have to run those stupid malicious cards. Plague Spreader, if you don't know what he does, you can send a zombie from the deck to the graveyard to increase his level by 1. You can only attack with zombies for the rest of the turn, but you can attack with these guys and then main phase 2 just to go into your Beals or whatever. Very good combos with Mizuki, and next also with Zombie Master. Zombie Master, another staple for zombies. And then we got a new card, Tristan, the Knight of the Underworld. If you don't know what he does, when he is normal summoned, you can add a zombie with 0 defense from your from your graveyard to your hand. That effect isn't too good. You only use it with his sister Isolde, which I'll show you in a little bit. They have a little combo. But also he has an effect where if there's another zombie on the field, he gains 300. But really, his adding effect is the only useful one. And now, as I was saying, we have Isolde, the Belle of the Underworld. Her effect is she can only be special summoned if you control a Tristan, Knight of the Underworld, and she can be special summoned from the hand, and no other ways. And her effect is you can target 2 zombies, including yourself, because she's a zombie, and make their levels in between 5 to 8. And you can only special summon zombies for the rest of the turn, which is really sad, because if it didn't have that little stipulation, the extra deck would be insanely good. But we can only utilize her so much. And next we got Summoner Monk. He just goes into some good plays. You know what Summoner Monk does. And Mathematician, we need more Foolish Burials because we're running zombies, of course. And then the one Dark Armed Dragon, because the graveyard is so easily manipulatable. And Dark Armed Dragon himself is just an amazing card. On to the spell lineup. We have triple MST, just to combat that pesky back row. We have triple Upstart Goblin for drawing. And then we have the 1 Foolish Burial, because it's Foolish Burial. 1 Book of Life. I tried running 2 Book of Life, and it was a little bit inconsistent, so I bumped it down to 1, and it's been working very well. You can run 2 if you want, however. And 1 Burial of a Different Dimension, just to get your Mizukis back. 1 Allure of Darkness for draw power. 1 Dragon's Mirror, a little tech, I guess. Banish 2. You banish 2 of your zombies to special summon Drago, Necro, Nether Soul Dragon, a mouthful of a card. And it's a very great top deck. This is such a good top deck, late game. Or mid game. And then 1 Scapegoat, another tech. You just get up 4 little tokens, and you can use them with a Uni Zombie to get an easy 7 or 8. Or really you can get a 4 to 8, but I run 6, 7s, and 8s. And then 1 Soul Charge. You can take this out for like another Book of Life, but I'd definitely rather have Soul Charge than another Book of Life. And then 1 Regeki. That is it for the spell lineup. Quite a bit of spells and a lot of one-offs. So let's go into the traps. We got 2 Karma Cut, just to get rid of cards in your hand, and you can banish cards, which is always nice. Double Breakthrough Scale, because Breakthrough Scale is always amazing. And then we got double Trap Stun, just to ensure that your plays go off, and also it can turn off your own vanities if you have it, and that is always good. And speaking of vanities, I have 1 vanities. 1 Compulse, 1 Bottomless, 1 Solemn, to round up the trap lineup. Now, I really wanted to try to get Eradicator Epidemic, or whatever, the virus, the new one that just came out from the ban list. But I only have 3 targets for it, and those 3 targets I'm not going to want to sacrifice very much. And as well, every time in testing I drew into it or whatever, or opened with it, it was always dead. Always dead. So let's move on to the extra deck. We got 1 Evolved Chain. You can run 2 if you want. I just run 1. And Evolved Chain is obviously incredibly important in this deck. 101, Exiton, Gaga Cowboy, and I got 103. I cannot pick up a Castell, and I've not been able to. I do not know why. but no one at my locals has it. Can't pick one up, and I don't want to buy one because I'm lazy. So those are the rank 4s. For the one rank 5 that you use with Isolde is a Crimson Knight Vampire Braum. He can just reborn a monster from your opponent's graveyard, and during the standby phase, or during your next standby phase after he was destroyed, you special summon him in defense position, which is sad, but it's fine. And I guess you can add him back to your extra deck if you so want with Tristan, because he has 0 defense. And for our last Xyz monster, for our rank 8, we have Zombie Stein. This card is really good. Its effect is, I mean, it's relatively decent, but, I mean, just a free 45 beater. Just, here you go. And his effect, if you don't know, you detach a material, and you have to discard a card, and you have to switch into defense position, which is sad because he only has a K defense. But you do that, and you can negate any card effect for the until the end of the turn. Or the card effect is negated until the end of the turn. So if it's like a continuous, then it's negated to the end of the turn. But if it's like a normal card, then it's just negated. And that is it for the Xyz monsters. For the Synchro monsters, we have Goyo Guardian, just for like Mathematician or the Unizombie Mathematician or the tokens. You can take them out if you really want. One Black Rose Dragon. Black Rose Dragon is so good. And one, I guess, little tech as well, is Yazi, the Yang Zing card. This card is amazing. Well, it's not amazing. It's just really good because it cannot be targeted, which is really great in today's meta. I mean, Yosenjus can't bounce it back to your hand, and if they can't do that, then they have a really hard time getting over this card. As well as, it can't be, like, banished by, like, Tristan or anything like that. It just can't be targeted, which is great. And also, if all else fails, you can tribute himself to pop a card on your opponent's field, kind of like Scrap Dragon, but it's only himself. Well, I guess it's all Yang Zings, but... It's all Yang Zings, but, you know, he's behind the Yang Zing. Crimson Blader, just because Crimson Blader is really good. Scrap Dragon. Scrap Dragon is the 3 needed rank 8s, definitely. He's really good with Beals. You target Beals and target your opponent's card, and you destroy both. You destroy both, but Beals doesn't get destroyed because it's fact. And then one Void Ogre Dragon, because Void Ogre Dragon is amazing. And then one Beals, because Beals is God. Beals is love, Beals is life. And you can run 2 if you want, but I just decided to run 1. And then for the last, Drago Necro Nether Soul Dragon. This card is great. If you don't know what he does, he cannot destroy monsters by battle, which is sad, but if he attacks a monster, that monster's attack becomes 0 at the end of the damage step, and you get a token equal to its original attack. So that's always good. And that rounds up the entire deck profile, guys. I would say I would rate this deck after playing it countless times. Not countless times, probably like 100 or so. I would rate it, I don't know, 7 or 8 out of 10. It can combat with the meta. Sometimes you can not really brick draw. I actually have pretty consistent drawing, especially with Upstart Goblin. But it's just sometimes you just can't get out of certain situations. But that's okay. It's a really fun deck, a lot of combos, it's very combo based, and just overall, like I said, a fun deck. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you dominate at your locals with this new deck. Thank you and goodbye.